I'm just going to say it because this is what I do. But I'm confused by how many American people are crying for the massacres and the children in Palestine, usually Democratic-leaning people or ex-Democrat-leaning people, now that they've seen through the insidious nature of their party and the Republican Party. I mean, not saying that that's exempt. But how these people are crying for Palestinian children and not one of them mentioned the legalized murder of children in their own country. So it's normal to have an abortion within the first trimester. Within the first 3 months, the child is not formed, and that gives a person enough time to decide whether they want to be a parent. But anything beyond that has now tipped from liberalism and free choice into inversion. And this is what cultural Marxism is. It's when liberalism goes beyond the point of reasonable and gets so inverted that it becomes evil. So you might not be aware, but in quite a few states, it is legal to have a late-term abortion up and until the day of giving birth. And there doesn't even have to be a reason, a danger to the mother or the baby, right? No reason needs to be given, and you can abort a child, a fully formed child, up until the day of giving birth. And an abortion, a late-term abortion, actually usually ends up with a child being born alive and then murdered. So this is legalized in quite a few states in your country. People are allowed to have a late-term abortion where the child is usually born alive and then murdered. And you might wonder why. Why are late-term abortions even happening? Well, Planned Parenthood was set up by a person and a group of people that have an agenda of eugenics and population control. This is what its own founder even said.
The most merciful thing that the large family does to one of its infant members is to kill it. The most urgent problem today is how to limit and discourage the over-fertility of the mentally and physically defective. A marriage license shall in itself give husband and wife only the right to a common household and not the right to parenthood. No woman shall have the legal right to bear a child, and no man shall have the right to become a father without a permit for parenthood. We don't want the word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population.
But from my view, I believe that there should be no more babies.
I admire Margaret Sanger enormously. Her courage, her tenacity, her vision.
And the reason they've pushed, the so-called liberal inverted Democrats have pushed for late abortions, is because you get more money for body parts on the black market when they are fully formed. So there have been quite a few journalistic exposés on Planned Parenthood selling children's parts, organs and tissues to stem cell researchers. Here's some footage.
In several American states, abortion is allowed up to and including the moment of birth. Full-term abortion is the term coined for this event. The doctors at Planned Parenthood have no problems with this. On the contrary, on several occasions, medical staff were caught on hidden cameras selling body parts of aborted babies to third parties. Nurses admitted to knowing exactly how to turn the baby in its mother's womb so that the internal organs would not be harmed during the abortion in order to harvest them after the procedure. They admitted the aborted babies were alive when their bodies were cut open to retrieve the organs, commissioned by well-paying third parties.
A lot of people want intact hearts these days because they're looking for specific nodes. Yesterday was the first time she said people wanted lungs. And then, like I said, always as many intact livers as possible. People just want
livers.
Some people want lower extremities too, which that's simple. I mean, that's easy. I don't know what they're doing with it. I guess they want muscle.
Yeah, a dime a dozen.
If you want to see more of it, you can click on the link below and watch the full expose. It's a 30-minute piece. So before you cry for the children of Palestine, it would be helpful if you cried for the born alive and murdered children in your own country. And perhaps so-called liberals, if you cared about Republicans who are weeping over this, they would possibly care about you weeping over our dead children, Palestinian and Lebanese children, other children across the global south. You need to step across this construct line in your own brain. Your system has told you the construct that you exist in. You will still have reproductive rights. You can still say, I want reproductive rights up until the first trimester, but anything beyond that is inversion. A late-term abortion is inversion if there's no reason or danger to the mother and child. And if you're a liberal or Democrat-leaning person, you need to say that. You need to draw the line on liberalism. You need to draw the line on liberalism.